And there is a lot to react to as we welcome you back into the Burns and Gambo show. John Gambadoro, Dave Burns hanging out with you on this Wednesday afternoon. Mat Ishbia, James Jones, the owner and general manager of the Suns, respectively, holding their year-end press conference today. Mat Ishbia insisting the house is not on fire.
But I feel like the narrative around the house is burning, it's incorrect. The Phoenix Suns are doing great. Excellent. Not as good as we want to be, and not as good as we're going to do next year. And that's what we're going to figure out. What do we got to tweak, modify, adjust to win a championship next year? And when we don't win it, or we do win it, even when we win it, by the way. So when we win a championship, we'll have the same thing. And I'll say, shoot, we won it, but we got to get better here and here because everyone else is coming for us. That's how we're going to do it in Phoenix. So get ready.
Bold statement for a team that won 49 games and got swept in the first round of the playoffs, isn't it?
Doubling down on their belief that they have the right players and the right roster to win a championship. They believed in it. They won 49 games. They got beat by a team that had the best defense in the NBA. They didn't play well in the series. And it's just basically saying, okay, like they still believe that this roster is good enough to win, that there are great players here in between Booker and Beal and Durant and Nurkic and Allen, that they've got a good nucleus. They've got to make some tweaks around the edges to make the team better, and they believe that they'll take another shot at it next year.
Mat Ishbia went on to say that they are inches away from success.
We won 49 games. Think about it. The first 30 games, we didn't really have Brad. I think we played 40 games with our starting five together. Man, if we played 50 with it, do we win 5 more games? And are we all of a sudden a 1 seed, right? Like, it's not like we're like inches away from where we need to be, right? And now, by the way, on the flip side, we're inches away. Other injuries, we could have lost some more games, right? Like, so it's very touch and go all the time. So we have to put our team in position to be successful. And as the owner, my job is to work for the fans and deliver the best team possible.
And as you had prepped us for yesterday, there was no announcement about Frank Vogel today. There was no, this is Mat Ishbia talking about no decision has been made on Frank Vogel's future at this point.
Coach, GM, players, like I'm not going to specifically get in each of them right now. Here's how I'll say it is. Like, I just flew back from Michigan. I went to Michigan and I was hoping to come back for game 6, just like all of you guys were hoping, which would have been tomorrow night. But I'm not. I'm here to talk to you guys, and I have no problem going through it. I have not had one discussion. I know there's media reports and stuff. Like, it's just not true. Not one discussion about my GM, my coach. We're trading players now, supposedly, in the media. Not one discussion's even been had, let alone a decision being made. So there's been nothing at this point on any of those things, on any of those people. And I'm not going to get into each personnel and each question, each player, because it's like, or coach or GM, but honestly, not even a discussion.
There will be. There's going to have to be a discussion. It'll come now. They've had a few days to kind of, just relax a little bit, get over the anger and the frustration of losing and clear your head and, not make a quick decision within 24 hours because you're angry and you're upset, but sit back and now properly evaluate your coach, your coaching staff, and what everybody can do better to, make this team. Look, the Phoenix Suns will be back in the playoffs next year, okay? Like that's almost a guarantee. Barring major injuries, if this team comes back intact, they're going to be back in the playoffs next year. So how do you take that team and have playoff success? They've got to figure that out. Is it a mix of new players and a new coach? Is it the old coach and new players? Is it a different style and execute? Could you keep Vogel and hire an offensive coordinator type that's better than what you had with Kevin Young? Like, all these discussions will take place over the next couple of days, and when they figure out what they'll do, they'll let everybody know.
As far as the roster makeup goes,
you look back at some of the trades that James and all of us were part of, right? We do those things 100 out of 100 times. Like not 99 out of 100, 100 out of 100, and we'd still do them again. And I think the other 29 GMs would all do the exact same thing. And so we feel great about the moves we made on the court, off the court, and we're really proud of it.
So on the record saying every general manager in the NBA would have done the moves that we made, and that this is very fixable.
Oh, it's extremely fixable. I mean, let's just be real, although this isn't a cool narrative and the national media really won't want to play it out there, but like, ask the other 29 GMs. 26 of them would trade their whole team for our whole team and our draft picks and everything as is. Like, the house is not on fire. We're in great position. It's not hard to fix. It's not like we're like, hey, we don't have enough talent to win a championship. We have enough talent to win a championship, right? Do we have enough continuity? Do we have time together? Like, there's a lot of things we can look at. Do we have like the right leadership in place? Do we have to add some little pieces around that? It's not like we don't have people that can score the ball, not that play defense and have one chance. Like, we have all the things. And so how fixable is it? And I mean, if I read the media, I would think we have a lot of problems, but luckily I get to spend time with, the best players in the world, in my opinion, best coaches, GMs, see like all these people. And I get to spend time with our people and say, we're in really great shape. And I wouldn't trade our team or our situation for anyone else's.
It's a lot of optimism for a team that really underwhelmed us all year long. I mean, that's my number one takeaway from hearing all this.
That is very optimistic for a team that just got swept.
Not only got swept, but I mean, for the most part,
humiliated
all season
in 3
long.
games.
Well, not even that. For the most part, all season long, never found their stride, never found their comfort zone, never played consistent good stretches of basketball outside of the end of it. Like this is a really, really rosy outlook for a team that really underwhelmed us all year long. I don't know if I'm surprised is the right word.
This says to me that it's the coach. This says to me that we had the wrong coach, that did not push the right buttons and did not put the players in. Because if you're that optimistic about how good your team is,
I think you're right.
You're basically saying our roster's good. Like, we have Kevin Durant, we have Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen. We have a roster that's we didn't win because our coach. This, to me, I think will eventually lead to the firing of Frank Vogel, because I think in the end, that's how it gets justified. Is it wasn't the pieces and the players. We need a better coach to get more out of these guys.
I think you're absolutely correct. James Jones, same press conference on how he would assess Frank Vogel's job.
I thought Frank did a great job, given the circumstances. We assembled a really talented team, guys from, primarily 3 scorers. And whenever you're trying to get guys to adjust and adapt their games, there's a transition time. It's sometimes a struggle, but I thought he did a great job this year. You look at our record. I think Matt talked about it, 49 wins compared to mid-40s last year. It was a tough grind with the lack of continuity and health. But we won 49 games, and we were in the playoffs against a really good Minnesota team that just was a better team than us. So I thought he did a tremendous job. I thought the staff did a great job. I thought the players did a really good job. Just not good enough to reach our goals.
But they really are pushing the 49 win thing, aren't they?
Well,
they're pushing that.
Yeah. They had to go 7-3 down the stretch to get to those 49 wins, avoid the play-in tournament, and there was some really great signs that this team was going to be good during the course of the regular season. They had 2 wins on the road against the Denver Nuggets in Denver. They beat the hell out of New Orleans. They beat Minnesota 3 times. For as many good examples,
yes.
There were 2 losses to San Antonio. There was a loss to the Nets. There was some really, the Portland, there was just as many bad signs as, there were great signs that this team could go far. But there were a lot of other signs with some really, really bad losses that made you feel like something is not right, something is missing. And now we've got to just sit there and say, okay, they believe the roster is good. Is it the coach?
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.